Well, how's it going? You know, looking around, you see all kind of things floating out there in the interwebs right now. I just like to call it pure madness. You've got people their campaign's collapsing, let's just face it. And they're panicking. They're outright panicking. It's a glorious thing to see, but it's also a little frightening sometimes. I want y'all to take a look at this here. You got Amuse says this right here. Militarization. The Biden-Harris regime has installed riot-proof fencing near the White House around the ellipse ahead of Kamala Harris's closing rally. Last night, the U.S. military conducted unusual readiness and continuity of government exercises that involved a dozen helicopters landing at the Capitol and more than 100 heavily armed troops patrolling the grounds. The tension in the nation's capital are very high. The Democrats' rhetoric that they won't allow Trump to take office even if he wins are taking a toll on everyone. I bet it is. The video was taken by freelance journalist at Penguin 6. Please give him a follow for great video content from the Washington, D.C. area. Okay, it says military conducting continuity of government drills at Capitol. Freelance reporter at Penguin 6 was at the Capitol last night as the Biden-Harris regime staged readiness and continuity of government exercises. With a dozen helicopters, military troops were scattered throughout the Capitol grounds, preparing for a possible attack on the government. This is silly. You know it, I know it, they know it, and we all know it. Now let's see what the video looks like.
So over there you see all the fire trucks from the DC Foam Task Force. They're set up to cover any arrival. They move the ambulances over here too. I guess that's a sign we're going to have aircraft actually landing. Getting closer. First one's coming in. This is Eagle.
Well, you know, we could sit there and watch probably an hour of that, but I'm really not interested in doing that. It brings to mind scripture to me. The wicked flee when none pursueth. There ain't nobody trying to do no violent overthrow of the government. There ain't nobody coming after them with guns. There ain't nobody doing any of this stuff that they would do. What they're doing is they're projecting what they would do if somebody did to them what they're doing to Donald Trump and to all of us. I submit to you, we've seen it too many times. How many cities did they burn in 2020? And I mean, all the time through Donald Trump was in the White House. How many cities did they burn? How many riots did they have where police officers was killed? Where people were stoned to death? Where entire impoverished neighborhoods in the black community were burned to the ground and people were murdered. You know, I remember when we was watching all that, it kept reoccurring to me. I was a criminal justice major at college, and I happen to know that it's against the law for anybody to block a road. You're not even allowed to block a sidewalk, much less a road or an interstate highway. If Trump supporters went out into the middle of an interstate with banners and tried to lock arms and do some of the stuff that them wicked people was doing, first off, the police would come through and probably run us over. And I know some of them wicked devils on the other side would run us over and laugh about it and think it's funny. But if they didn't, the police would come and arrest us and they would put us in jail. And not only would they put us in jail, they wouldn't put us in jail and turn us loose in a couple hours to go do it again. No, we would sit in jail. There was a stand down of the police in these blue cities where they refused to enforce the law. And it's just crazy watching these people run around and do what they're doing and acting like they've got some kind of imprimatur here, like they've got some kind of mandate, like they're supposed to be doing this and they're in the right, when they're in the wrong and they're ranked devils. And they know that they're ranked devils. That's what's the crazy part to me. Only a ranked devil would want to continue abortions till a baby's head was coming out of its mama. There ain't no way around it. And anybody that's supporting this or taking their side on this, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Well, you know what? I'm not sorry. I'm sorry for you. But you're wrong, and you know you're wrong. And I want to give you a little bit of scripture. It comes out of Proverbs 29. I'm going to start at verse 14. The king that faithfully judgeth the poor, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof giveth wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give delight unto thy soul. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. And what's one of the first things they did? They stopped enforcing the law. Everybody wants to talk about having a constitutional convention and changing the Constitution, doing what. No, the problem ain't the Constitution. Constitution solves all these problems. The problems came when we stopped enforcing the Constitution. That's where the problem started. A servant will not be corrected by words, for though he understand, he will not answer. Seest thou a man that is hasty in his words? There is more hope of a fool than of him. He that delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall have him become his son at length. How about that? An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man aboundeth in transgression. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Whoso is partner with a thief hateth his own soul. He heareth cursing, and betrayeth it not. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment cometh from the Lord. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked. Now see, don't that explain a lot? You have a man that wants to follow the law, and they all the time accusing him of wanting to break the law. You have a man that wants peace, and they all the time accusing him of wanting war. When a man follows the law and takes instruction from the Lord, to the wicked, he becomes an abomination. They say this man's a threat to our democracy. Well, first off, they don't have no democracy. That's not what this is. What we have is a fascistic form of government. The government owns the corporations with money they stole from us. The corporations carry out the policy that the government commands them to carry out, so the government can have plausible deniability. That's why people get kicked off all these social media sites, and you can only get this certain news if you get my meaning. And then the government sees that they prosper. They get rid of all the competition. It's real simple. To them, he is a threat because they're criminals, and they know they're criminals. They know what they've done is wrong and that they're wicked, and they're afraid. They're desperately afraid. All of you are going to find that out. And everybody's already finding it out. It's all going to come out. They can't stop it at this point. That's why they're running around like an anthill stirred up. I submit to you, the people on our side are not going to have some type of insurrection like these people are fantasizing about and prepared for. We're just going to say no. We're not going to tolerate it this time. And we're going to stop producing. We're going to stop producing for them. We're going to stop holding them up. Because the only thing holding them up is the producers in this nation. And when we say no, it means no. You know, a dog don't sit down and get into a fight with a flea. He just shakes his back and they fall off. Or scratches them off of himself and keeps on moving. When you come into your kitchen, you see a roach running across the floor. You don't get down on your hands and knees in the floor and try to fight that roach tooth to tooth and claw to claw. You just step on the roach and keep moving. I submit to you, that's what's going to happen here. They're going to lose the election because there's a tidal wave of people that's saying no. And then they're going to try their little things to make some type of a outcry and, you know, trouble in the streets, and we're not going to bite on it. And then they're going to just go away because they ain't got no choice but to go away. And I think it's time that we started having a sense of humor about it, because it really is funny if you look at it. It's funny. They're projecting what they would do. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a projection. You know, it's like my dad used to say, a thief always thinks somebody's going to steal from him. An adulterer always thinks somebody's going to run around on him, cheat on him. A con man always thinks somebody's going to steal from him. And a crooked politician, well, they're going to think everybody's trying to be a crook with them. The reason we call out them being crooked is because we've seen it multiple times. And the truth is just the truth, and it'll stand when the world's on fire. I wish y'all would give me a thumbs up and say something to me in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. And God bless all of you, and you have a good day.